Hello and welcome to this new video tutorial of Inventor 2018. The topic today will be animations. How to animate cameras and moving parts in your assemblies. So I'll open up my assembly. The first thing that I will be doing is making sure that it works. It's not running, most likely because I have an angle constraint here, which I will delete. So I'm now able to turn my crankshaft and you can see how the engine is running. Okay. So if you want to animate that, you have to make sure that you have an angular constraint there. So I'll add one now. So I will find my crankshafts, XZ or YZ, either one of them, and I'll swap to angle actually, and I'll use the directed angle option, and then I'll use my global XZ. So as you can see now they are constrained at an angle of 0 degrees, and now I'll click on apply. So what I will do now, I can't turn the crankshaft anymore simply because the angular constraint is blocking it. So if you right click and suppress it, now you will still be able to turn it, but if you right click on the constraint and click on the drive option, you can just simulate that. So if I now go and type in 9999 degrees, hit play, you can see how the constraint is being driven. Then I can change my speed here. As you can appreciate. Okay. So this was just a quick test to make sure that it is all working. So I'll close this now. If I now go on environment, I will now go on Inventor Studio and wait for it to load. Okay, so the first thing that I will be doing is opening my animation timeline. And now you can expand it by clicking on this button, expand action editor. And as you can see, it's all blank. There is absolutely nothing there. So the first thing that we could possibly do is add a constraint. So I'm going to click on constraints, and now it's asking me to select the action. So I'm going to go on my model tree, expand my crankshaft and look for the angle. So there is my angular constraint. I'm going to select it. Right now it's on suppress, so I'm going to click on specify constraint value, and my start is going to be 0 degrees and my end is going to be maybe 10,000 degrees. And here I can specify my time duration, so I'll click on specify start time, and my end will be maybe 30 seconds. And now I'm going to click on OK. So if I now expand my action editor, as you can see, my angular constraint is showing here, and I have this bar there. The good thing about using your animation timeline is that you can always adjust just by pulling, and so I'll leave it as it is. I'll go all the way back, so click here to go to start. So if I now hit play, we will see the animation taking place. I'll hit stop now, go back. You can also right click on it and edit, and then you can edit the degrees or the duration. So I can, for example, say I can maybe half it, or maybe I can make it 5000 degrees instead to make it a little bit slower. So that's how you animate constraints. Then here you can select your animation options. So all this means, here is showing my maximum duration, which is 30 seconds. This is my velocity profile, so it's telling me that during the first 20% of the animation, it accelerates. During the other 60%, the constraint is being driven at constant speed, and then at the last 20%, it decelerates till stop. You can specify the velocity, or you can just simply use constant speed if you wish. So I'll just leave the default settings. Okay, so the next thing that we want to be doing is probably using our cameras. So first of all, I will go on my model tree, and here where it says camera, I'm going to right click on it and click on create camera from view. Actually, before I click on it, I'll select the view that I want, so probably about here, which is almost centered. I will now right click on it and click on create camera from view. So if I right now click on camera 1, right click and go on edit, you can, for instance, use link to view to change the position of the camera and save it. So it makes sense. I've cancelled it. It's always easier to set your camera if you use link to view. Anyway, we have to set a target. So for the placement of our target, I'm going to click on the target option, and I'm going to look for my origin point, which is right at the middle. You may have a different origin point, so just try to find a point that is as central as possible. And now I will click on OK. So as you can see here, that's my camera and that's my target. Okay, so if I now want to animate my camera, if I go in the animate ribbon and click on camera, then it will let me animate it by following a path. You can select your cameras here, your definition. Anyway, what will be useful instead is turntable. So I'll click on turntable. I'll click on turntable, and then the axis of turn. So in my case, because I used the XY plane in my sketch, my vertical axis will be the Y axis. So I'm going to select Y origin. and you can swap the direction here. So in my case, it's going to be counterclockwise. And right now it's set on 1 revolution per minute. You can choose revolutions per minute, revolutions per second, or just revolutions regardless of minutes or seconds. It will be according to the overall time of your duration. So in my case, I want mine to turn, or choose the plus minus option, and I want it to turn half a ref, so I'll select 0.5, so 180 degrees from that position. And now I want my duration, I want it to start at 0, and maybe I actually want it to start at after 5 seconds. I'll click here and specify. So it starts after 5 seconds. Again, you could always stretch it and adjust it as you wish in your timeline. And then I want it to end in second 15. I will click on OK. So now when I rewind my animation and play it, after 5 seconds, you will see how my camera is moving around. Okay, that's fine. I'll stop it. So the next thing that I will be doing is I'll swap it here from current view to camera 1. So I'm viewing the animation in first person from the camera point of view. So I'll hit play again and see what it looks like. We'll expand my timeline. So you can see your camera here. And again, you can just right click and edit if you're not happy with the result. So let's say in my case, instead of half a ref, I can say 0.4. Maybe 0.3. Okay, so now we'll be showing you how to add all the types of camera actions. So I'll stop it here. I'll expand my animation timeline. And then I'll go to second 15.1, which is right after the end of my camera. So if you want to add a camera action, first you just want to place it exactly right after the end of your first camera action, so it picks it up from then. Because what you don't want is to zoom in or out while there is a camera transition, because then it won't flow smoothly. So now I will click on Add Camera Action. Now I will move forward in time, so maybe from 15, maybe up to 17, so the action takes place in 2 seconds. And now I'll change my view, and then maybe zoom in like that. And now I will click on Add Camera Action again. So if I go back, minimize my animation timeline so we can view that. So as you can see, the camera does that transition. Maybe I can make it slightly, maybe 3 seconds instead. Just give it a watch. Now we can possibly add another camera action, static. So add camera action, move it. And then I can add a third one, moving from this view, maybe to this view. Over a few seconds. So I'll click on add camera action again. And as you can see, it added the camera action in between. And then I can possibly add the last one. So maybe a transition between this one and this one. Side view. Okay, so we can now give that a watch. See what it's like. So yeah, that's it. So now the next thing that we'll be doing is I will get rid of this transparency. So I think I have to exit Inventor Studio in order to do that. I will do that. So if I now right click, get rid of the transparency. If I now go on environments again and open up Inventor Studio. There we go. So the next thing that we'll be doing is adding a fade. So I will open my animation timeline again. There is nothing, but if I expand it, everything will come back, so you can see. Okay, so I'll click on fade. First, you have to select the components that you want to fade. So I'll select my engine block. And I want it to start fading maybe after 3 seconds from the beginning of the animation. So I'll go and specify 3. And then I want it to end after maybe 20 seconds. So my start, I wanted to start at 100%. Actually, I probably want it to happen over a shorter period of time. So maybe from second 3 till second 8. So I wanted to go from 100% down to, I would say, 40 or 50%. See what it looks like. I'll give that a try. Again, we can always edit it if we're unhappy with the results. So if I now give it a watch, so as you can see, it's fading. I'm showing all of the components moving, and obviously stays faded. So if you want it to fade back into opaque, all you have to do, go back to your animation timeline, find your fade, which in my case is here, right click on it, and click on mirror, and that will mirror the action. So if I now go all the way back here, if I move my editor, we can watch it from here. So you can see it's going transparent, and now it's fading back in. So what we'll do, I will simply move this one all the way across till the very end. So I'll go all the way back and give it a watch and see what it looks like. Okay. So this is probably all you need to know to produce a basic animation on Inventor. There are also other functions that could be interesting, like for example parameters. You can animate parameters or position representations. You can also add lights or animate lights. You can use the video producer if you want to produce more advanced animations, or you could always do that in a different video editing software like Sony Vegas or any other. So if you want to save this animation, you can just go on render animation. So first you have to select your output size. So in my case I will go for something like 1280 by 1024. So I'll animate camera 1 and my current lighting style. My actual output in a video format. Then my frame rate, I will make it at least 30 frames per second. And then the render duration, so this is entirely up to you. It is quality versus time. it is almost linearly proportional. So if you select total render time, then you should be looking at something at least probably 10 or 20 minutes to get something that looks relatively decent. Then you can render by iteration, so you can set hundreds of iterations if you wish. So here you can select your lighting and material accuracy height. I would leave it as it is, and yeah, so it's all about selecting either many iterations or just give Inventor long enough to produce something to satisfactory quality. So this would be it. Then you click on render and it will render your animation and it will allow you to save it. So I'll leave this tutorial here. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you have any question, just send me an email or write a comment. Thank you.